Okay, so today on the Corvette ZO6 Carbon, one of the things that I miss from the C7, in fact it's probably the only thing I miss, is the Rev Match, which is basically blips the throttle as you push in the clutch and hit the brake. It blips the throttle, it helps you get it into the next gear, but also as you release the clutch, it doesn't lock the back end up. If you're going into a corner, you're going from a high speed down to a slow speed, it helps soften that release on the clutch. So this little device here is called Auto Blip. The idea of this is you can hook it into a vehicle that has a drive-by-wire, basically an electric throttle body. You hook it up and you can calibrate it, then adjust it. It will actually blip the throttle for you. So a bunch of people are going to yell out right now, hey, why don't you heel toe it? Well, heel towing, unless you get used to it, can get you in a little bit of trouble going into a bend on a high horsepower car. This does it for you. It gives you a little bit of adjustability, and of course it sounds cool too. So when you're burping around the street pretending to be a race car driver, this does a good job giving everyone the impression that you are. So I bought this used off a friend of mine, Scott. This isn't for my year, but it should essentially be the same. This is the instructions, comes with it, or you can just download it, which is what we have done, and they make it for the C6 ZO6 also. So we're just going to download it, and it taps into various sensors on the car. Of course, it taps into the throttle, that energizes the throttle, and it's going to hook into the brake and clutch switch right here, which are these pins. So it knows when you're pressing the clutch and pressing the brake, and then you tell it what you want it to do via these knobs right here. It's pretty simple, but the feedback I've got from people that use it, and of course online, everybody likes it. So I'm going to give this thing a shot. Alright, so the calibrating was different. The sheet that was included with the kit was different to the one online. It wouldn't calibrate. So right now we have a status light on. So you hit the brake light comes on, hit the clutch light comes on. So when the engine is running, I guess it's going to blip that light on the blip, and we should hear the throttle.
Braking, clutch in.
Wow.
Restoration all the way up. So
okay, I was going to say that gives it a handful. Oh, that's better.
I'm revving it by pressing the clutch.
Yeah. All right, well that works, right?
Yeah.
All right. Middle is it seems about right, but
duration is your RPM. So the more it goes down, the less RPM it gives all the way up.
That's for serious RPMs right there.
So, and then the delay,
just how fast it reacts from pressing the clutch.
There's a constant time delay from the time the downshift event is sensed to when it blips the throttle. So if we turn the delay way down pretty quick, turn it way up, it waits a second.
Okay. So you just play with it and see which balances out.
Yeah, so you can do there all the way up.
Yeah.
But then all the way down. As soon as the clutch goes in, it goes on.
You can hear the throttle plate out there too. You hear it?
Yeah.
All right. So George is going to take the wheel, and let's get a feel for it. I can film here. I can film this guy, and give you some feedback what it sounds like. So now, is it clutch and then brake, or brake clutch? Does it matter?
You'd have to be going, and then brake, and then hit the clutch. So I didn't hit the brake hard enough there for it to work.
Okay. So it's again determined by that clutch switch, so it has to see that clutch switch.
Yeah, because I guess on the race course you would be slowing down with slight engine braking, then get into the brake, and then push the clutch in to change your gear.
Yeah, these are aggressive brakes too, so you probably don't need to press the brakes that hard.
You may need to readjust it so it's a lighter press of the brake.
Yeah, adjust the pedal, the switch.
For engine braking, and then I'm not even pressing the brakes hard enough to do it.
When you do that again, let me look at this, if this light actually comes on.
Yeah, that's enough to stop.
Yeah, oh, and it just came on then.
And have to be needing a little more brake pedal.
Yeah. Yeah, because these brakes are pretty aggressive. Doesn't need a whole lot of pressure. I'll film this. Did it that time. The helmet came flying this way. Oh. I forgot I had my helmet in the car.
You filming it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I just felt something bump me in the arm. I go, what the heck was that? Feels like a big S2000, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Feels like an S2000 with just more behind the throttle and more behind the brake.
Well, U-turn, try and use this thing again.
There's a Mustang now, you should auto blip him.
Yeah.
So he knows what got it going on.
I didn't hit it hard enough.
He didn't hit it hard enough. Alright, I guess we adjust that switch. Meanwhile, that Mustang didn't even know we were driving by.
I know, right?
Oh, he's coming for us. No, he's not. Clutch switch works. Wow, it's kind of weird. We're gonna have to adjust that switch and see if
it's hard to do.
See if it's better than that.
Well, on the track too, you're gonna be
hitting the brakes
a lot harder.
Yeah, absolutely. So it turns out the clutch pedal has an actual position sensor. It's not just a simple on-off switch, and same as the brake. So when you calibrate this thing, depending on how hard you press the brake is dependent on where it uses that point as the activation point. So we press the brakes kind of hard on the calibration, but driving it with these big ceramic brakes doesn't need a lot of pressure to stop the car. So take it back to the shop, make an adjustment, recalibrate it, and we'll test it again. So let's do a quick demo of how you program it. So key on.
And the power button, you hold it down until it blinks. And then one flash is your accelerator pedal down. So you hold it down all the way, press it, it'll blink twice. Accelerator pedal up, hit it. That goes 3 times, and then you hit the brake. I'll try and go light, light, hit it. That's 4 blinks, off the brake, hit it again. 5 blinks, clutch pedal down, hit it again. 6 blinks, clutch pedal up, hit it again, and we're good.
That's interesting. Hopefully that's going to help somebody do a calibration.
Yeah, it's fairly quick and easy.
Yeah, now you know how to do it without having to read instructions. It's always hard to read the instructions as you calibrate something.
Yeah.
Once you know, much faster. Alright, let's go try it again. Alright, so we're going to try it just up the end of the street here. Hit it lightly.
Way easier now.
Yeah, okay. So every time, that's what the C7 did.
Was it super easy?
Yeah, as soon as you push the clutch down and start slowing down, it did it. You didn't have to hit the brake. I think it just sensed you slowing down. So both lights are on the brake and
takes
clutch.
A small amount of brake pressure.
Okay.
Maybe they're sick.
All right, so parking lot test.
I have to brake before you clutch.
Okay.
So clutch up, brake.
That's weird. You've almost got to learn how to drive it.
Yeah. Well, like I said, on the track, you're not going to have to learn it because that's how you're going to be driving it anyways.
Yeah.
You're going to go into a corner, you're going to hit off the accelerator pedal, the engine brake, and then you're going to hit the brake, and then you're going to clutch into downshift.
Got it, okay. That's kind of what you do, you just don't think about it.
Exactly.
I guess they have to have that brake input too. If not, every time you press the clutch, it's going to rev.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's probably like a default. It has to know that you're stopping. I think the C7 had it with RPM or speed. It knew that you were slowing down because you didn't have to hit the brake. Not that I remember. All right, let me go take it for a drive so I can get a feel for it. All right, Auto Blip is a success. It just takes a little bit of getting used to because I don't know if I'm used to pressing the brake first, then the clutch, but you have to press the brake first. If the brake is pressed first, that's where the clutch light is on.
Is it?
When you press the brake and then the clutch, it blips. If you press the clutch first and then the brake doesn't blip. So I'll have to pay attention to that when I'm actually running on the track, see how I drive it. I don't really think about it, I just drive. So we're gonna get a feel of that. Let me switch it to the...
Make sure it's out of gear.
Yeah, why are they on all the time?
It did say that if it's hooked to power constantly, that it will just turn itself off after 6 hours.
Oh, got it. Okay. All right. When you turn the ignition on, the clutch light goes off. So it's just what it does. But yeah, after 6 hours, it'll turn off. So okay, so I can confirm the Auto Blip works, and it works the way it's advertised in. I'm impressed with it. It does what it's supposed to do, and it's something to get used to, the brake and the clutch. Like we said in the video, you got to push the brake down first. Then when you put the clutch down, it blips the throttle. If you put the clutch down first, then the brake, it doesn't do it. So it's something that you do without really thinking on the track. I drive that way, but on the street, when you're driving easy, you tend to come up to a stoplight, you put the clutch down, then you start to hit the brake because you're not in a big rush, you're not trying to stop. So I'll report back and let you know once I get a track day how it actually feels. But follow the calibration the way we did it. Makes it a little easier. It's a little bit more complicated trying to read the instructions and do it within the time they allow. We had to do it a couple of times until it worked, but I'm happy with it. It's good. Now onto the seats. So these are the seats. These are Recaro Sportsters. Now what I like about these, actually a few things I like. First thing, they match the material in the car. They've got the Alcantara in the middle and the leather on the sides, which kind of goes with the whole look of the car. Obviously it'd be a lot of work to change to orange stitching, but it's not a deal breaker. These are probably the comfiest seats I think I've ever sat in. All right, so the good news is the seats are sitting in there and they fit and they are super comfortable. Bad news is the cursor thing.